Hello, BookTube, and welcome to that melancholy moment, the last mail haul of the week, which arrives here on the doorstep in Boston on a day that feels pregnant with possibilities. It's incredibly humid outside. I don't so much mind the heat. I don't mind any amount of heat anymore. It's 90 Fahrenheit, and that is just fine by me. But the humidity reminds me of the Florida Keys and is the surest indication that major change in weather is coming, because you can't sustain this kind of humidity in this latitude. So there have been forecasts, and I've also looked at the weather myself and seen that it looks like a big cold front is moving into this area tonight. So it's hot and sunny and sticky, and the local forecast, which I do not trust as far as I can throw, are saying that the manifestation of the boundary between that cold front and what we have now will be a string of downpours and maybe some thunder and lightning in just a couple of hours. I don't believe that. We'll wait and see. But in the meantime, we have 4 packages delivered on the doorstep by a wilted U.S. postal driver. And the first 2 I noticed are from one of my favorite publishers, W.W. Norton. So let's see what they have. Both of them are suspiciously small. Norton is not afraid to come out with whoppers when they want to, but these are both small. So I don't know what that. Oh, great! Oh, it's fantastic. All right, I did not expect this. Great. We just saw this the other day on my Endless Library tour. This is Anne Boyd Ryu. This is Meg, Jo, Beth, Amy in paperback. This is the paperback of her wonderful book on Little Women. Only, unlike my hardcover, the hardcover that I just showed you, this one has tons and tons of blurbs. Any chance that it has a blurb from yours truly? Let's take a look, shall we? Just in case. I mean, there's no blurb from yours truly on the cover. That's pretty bad. But there might be one, maybe. Maybe on the inside? No. Okay, there is a Christian Science Monitor blurb, but if I remember correctly, I did not do this for the Monitor. Somebody already called it long before a copy came to the newsroom. So I didn't even know how good it was before it was already out of my hands. But anyway, those of you who didn't see the library tour and who maybe don't know what the heck I'm talking about, this is a story about Little Women. It's about Louisa May Alcott's life when she was thinking about it. It's her life when she was writing it. It's the life of the book. Its immediate reception by the public, its future canonization, and it's about the characters as well. It belongs in that little subset of nonfiction of books about a specific book. Not, My Life in Middlemarch or something like that, where, hey, there's this classic from the canon, but really what's important is me. No, not that. But rather just a study, a very sympathetic and very detailed study of one work from the canon. I mentioned on reading The Grapes of Wrath in that connection. And this is another one of those. I don't have enough books like that. I absolutely love them. And so, all right, so now I have this one in paperback. So this paperback from Norton is coming out in mid-August. So that's when it'll be in your bookstores. And I don't usually say this, of course. I'm usually the first person to encourage you to go to the library or download a sample and check it out or whatnot. But in this case, I say buy it at your bookstore when you get it, because it is that good. Even if you're not a big fan of Little Women, I wasn't before I read the book, you're still going to love it. It's still fantastic. So let's see what this next one is. Also from W.W. Norton. Oh my, oh goodness gracious. Okay, I think we saw this already. Did we see this already? This is by Stephen Pressfield, the author of Gates of Fire. Which, if you're in a military family, will need no introduction. That book is immensely popular. It's talk about the life cycle of a book after its publication. Gates of Fire has a life cycle that really deserves a long Atlantic Monthly article of its own. If I were one of the literati, if I were one of the hoity-toity who could place such articles instead of being a workaday hack newspaper critic, I would certainly offer to write it and tell the amazing second life of Pressfield's novel, The Gates of Fire, it's a really good novel, but it's had a second life with military readers that no one could have predicted, I don't think. Anyway, this is by Stephen Pressfield. This comes out in November, and it is called 36 Righteous Men. So what do we got here? In this novel, it's the year 2034 in New York City, where climate catastrophe has become a near-extinction level emergency. A serial killer is seeking to kill the last 36 righteous men keeping the world alive. A Jewish legend declared that so long as 36 righteous men exist on the planet, God will not destroy the human race as he almost did in the time of Noah. Okay. Okay. All right. It's all mythology. Right. Okay. All right. As long as we're clear on that. Joining forces with a disgraced but brilliant rabbinical scholar and a renowned anthropologist who's also the last of the righteous ones, New York homicide detective James Manning and Covina Dewey. Her nickname is Dewey. Here, I thought I was the only one who had the nickname Dewey. They said... Anyway, they set off on a perilous quest from New York to Gehenna in search of a murderer who won't stop until he's killed everyone. As Pressfield was finishing his previous book, The Lion's Gate, a nonfiction work about the Arab-Israeli Six-Day War in 1967, he spent 9 weeks in Israel interviewing fighter pilots and tank commanders and being immersed in Israeli and Jewish history. A lapsed Jew, he became obsessed with the lore and the mysticism, particularly the legend of the 36 righteous men, and the idea for the novel was sparked. Okay. All right. Okay. So the 36 righteous men in the title is a callback to the Jewish legend that God will not destroy the human race if he can find 36 righteous men. And that itself is a callback to the famous scene where God barters with Abraham over the life of Sodom and Gomorrah, where Abraham says, well, shall not the Lord of all the world be just? Peradventure there be 50 righteous men in the city, wilt thou then destroy it? And God says, if there be 50 righteous men, I will not. And Abraham says, well, peradventure there be 40 righteous men, will you then destroy it? And he says, I will not. And Abraham bargains him down and down and down, but they do not reach a figure. And apart from righteous men, let's keep in mind that when Sodom and Gomorrah are destroyed, when the Noachian flood happens, thousands and thousands and thousands of completely innocent babies are killed. So it isn't just a question of righteous men. But when it comes to that myth, the last 36 righteous men, that also is tangentially connected to another book. I'm wondering if any of you will know that book. I'm not going to turn this channel into literary trivia quizzes, but there is a very, very good novel that is now completely forgotten. It's now out of print, and that touches on this same thing. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody remember a novel called The Last of the Just? No? Well, anyway. So that is an eco-climate Kabbalistic thriller from Stephen Pressfield. Okay, it comes out in early November. Great. I will read it. I certainly won't read it anywhere in the summer. There's way too much to read in the summer. So let's move on. We've got no boxes this time around, but the last two packages that we have here are these flat white cardboard things, so they might be something of interest. Let's see. Oh my! Oh goodness gracious! Okay, great. This is by Melanie Mitchell, and it is Artificial Intelligence, a Guide for Thinking Humans. This is the latest, or will be the latest book. This comes out when? In October. Another book on a subject that in 2019 has been fascinating me, absolutely fascinating me, AI. So let's see what Farrar, Straus and Giroux has to say. Ready for it or not, AI is already translating languages, recommending books. The nerve! Diagnosing diseases, driving cars, composing music, recognizing faces, optimizing energy use in buildings, and creating sophisticated models of to combat societal problems like climate change. Okay. All right. All of those things in that list are good. None of them are bad. AI is doing a much, much longer list of bad things, but for some reason they're not in there. Maybe that betokens the optimistic approach of the book. Concerns about super-intelligent machines are no longer the stuff of science fiction novels. They are wearing the lights of Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Stephen Hawking. Okay, they're not wearing Hawking anymore. Yet for all its growing importance... Or maybe they are. Yet for all its growing importance in our lives, so much of what the public gleans about artificial intelligence is either sensationalistic or speculative. Machines, we read, will either save us or destroy us. AI will either fizzle out or take over the Earth within a generation. In this book, AI researcher and award-winning author Melanie Mitchell is the essential guide to our brave new world that's been missing from the growing shelves of books on the topic. Oh, come on. That guide has not been missing. Let's not have tunnel vision just because you're repping one book. This is a clear-eyed, on-the-ground account of the state of the field. Setting aside hype, prognostications of doom, and Silicon Valley cheerleading... Okay. Usually, I don't know about this book specifically, but usually, when a sell sheet says, setting aside hype, prognostications of doom, and Silicon Valley cheerleading, that means you're going to find all three of those things in the first three pages of the book. This is a book that explains the technology that is probably affecting your life right now, or will soon. It is certainly affecting your life right now. You couldn't watch this video if it weren't. What are the different types of IA? How do they actually work? Okay. Melanie Mitchell's own fascination with artificial intelligence was sparked in the 1980s when, as an unhappy prep school math teacher, she came across a copy of Douglas Hofstadter's classic Gödel, Escher, Bach. And that made her less happy, I assume. Maybe she was a prep school math teacher who has a taste for crappy books. Okay, she was electrified. Okay, she was compelled not only to change fields, but to physically track down Hofstadter and convince him to take her on as one of his students. She would have been better off being literally electrified. Literally. She tracked down a hack, talentless bloviator when all she had to do was stand out on a golf course in the middle of a thunderstorm. That's right. Today she sits atop a field. A leading researcher who has been behind the scenes of the labs and high-profile competitions, walked among the most colorful personalities, both scientific and corporate, and abided cycles of high hopes and low periods of AI winter. Okay, all right. So it sounds to me like that opening line, which lists only good things that AI does, actually comes from her. It sounds like her experience walking with the giants has predisposed her to think that AI is good, that AI will not, that the dystopian possibilities won't happen. Not sure that I agree with that. AI, well, of course, it won't be AI that does it. It'll be people hacking AI that does it. The dystopian scenarios will come about not from AI deciding, I'm afraid I can't do that, Hal. But instead, it'll come from some operative hacking the AI that is currently flying the jumbo jet on which all of your loved ones are coming for vacation, and that thinks maybe piloting it into the middle of New York City would be a great idea, or it doesn't have to be transnational either. It can be that the nephew of somebody that you beat out for a corporate promotion is also a coder and a hacker and thinks it'd be fun to use the AI that is currently governing your grandmother's chemo treatments and kill her with them untraceably. It's well, we shall see. The book might have more negative things to say. It doesn't come out until mid-October, so I have a thunderstorm to get through before I get to it. But when I do, I will report back. And then we have the last one. This is our last book of the week. This is from St. Martin's. It's a finished copy. Comes out in late July. It's by Jeremy Finley. It's a novel of some kind. It's called The Dark Above by Jeremy Finley. Kind of a nice cover. You have that this weird plume here, and then things arcing down out of the night sky. Who is Jeremy Finley when he's at home? His investigating reporting has resulted in criminal convictions, legislative hearings before U.S. Congress, and the payout of $1 million to scam victims, and the discovery of missing girls. The winner of 20 regional Emmys and Edward R. Murrow Awards, he is also the winner of a National Headliner Award and a National Edward R. Murrow Award, and is a two-time recipient of the IRE Award. which is a recognition of the best in investigative journalism. He's the chief investigative reporter at the NBC station in Nashville, Tennessee, where he lives with his wife and daughters. Notice what we're not getting anywhere in that description. This is a novel. Has he ever written a novel before, or is this his debut? Let's take a look. No, he wrote a book called The Darkest Time of Night. So this is his second novel that we know of. So what have we got here? Let's see here. Okay, Darkest Time of Night was his debut. And in this book, he returns with a thrilling sequel. Oh no, well, I need The Darkest Time of Night then. This book continues the story of Lynn and William. Finley's second novel ramps up the stakes as the tentative peace that they have long lived under for the past 15 years comes crumbling down, and no one is safe from a threat that lies among them. Okay, it sounds like I'm going to need that first book. For most of his life, William Chance has been the living proof that his grandmother and her fellow researchers into people missing were right all along about the terror from the stars, hence those things on the cover. Now he's in hiding from everyone, including his family, hoping to save them all from a dangerous fate. When he's suddenly exposed, he finds that the media, government operatives, and renegade true believers are desperate to find him, but he has another mission. Joined by a girl with terrifying abilities, he begins a desperate journey across the United States to find the others who share his dream to stop what could be the final days of the world. Okay, all right, so I need to get The Darkest Time of Night. I will have to wait. Today is Saturday, and it's the Saturday after the 4th of July, and oh my God, the sheer slug-a-bed indulgence that I encountered among book publicists last week was shocking to my puritanical sensibilities. Shocking. Every book publicist that I currently deal with decided to take the whole week off. So who knows when they'll start trickling back to their desks. I'm not gonna try anything this weekend, but on Monday I will request The Darkest Time of Night and see if I can get that, because I have time to read that before this. This comes out at the end of the month, so if I can get that right away, I can reread it. Or I suppose I could go to the library and see if they have a copy. But in any case, so there you go. That is our last mail haul of the week. 4 books. We have The Dark Above, a sequel to The Darkest Time of Night. We have 36 Righteous Men by Stephen Pressfield, an author who will probably need no introduction for a lot of you. He's very popular. Then Artificial Intelligence, forthcoming book on a subject that literally involves us all. It literally affects us all. And then Meg, Jo, Beth, Amy in paperback. Fantastic. So in the middle of August, you're going to have a chance to get Meg, Jo, Beth, Amy in paperback. And I strongly urge you to do it. Or at least between now and then, make a mental note to get it from the library and see if it casts a spell over you. I bet it will. I bet you'll want it. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now. We have a lot of other bookish stuff to talk about, so I will be back. Thank you, BookTube.